Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of gardening's biggest, most counterintuitive secrets. It's a really simple technique that, I gotta admit, feels completely wrong when you first do it, and yet it's the absolute key to turning your kind of sad, spindly plants into those amazing, bushy, lush things you see in magazines. So, you ready to do something that feels a little bit cruel? To be kind? Yeah. Imagine this. You've spent weeks, maybe months, babying a little seedling. You're so proud of its one perfect little stem reaching for the sky, and then some experienced gardener walks by, looks at your pride and joy, and tells you to do that. It sounds absolutely horrifying, right? Like you're about to murder the very thing you've worked so hard to grow. And that, right there, is the big question we're going to answer. Why is this seemingly brutal act, this decapitation, actually the secret to unlocking a plant's absolute fullest potential? Well, stick around, because the answer is all wrapped up in this fascinating little biological drama that's playing out inside every single plant stem. I'm not kidding. It's a real moment of pain for just about any plant lover. You look at your happy, healthy little plant, and every instinct in your body is screaming, "Don't do it! Don't you dare!" But here's the thing. If you hesitate, if you let that fear win, you might just be sentencing your plant to a sad, what we call leggy life. Just a single, weak stem that eventually gets so tall and floppy, it just gives up. So you're basically looking at two completely different futures for your plant. Down one path, it becomes this tall, lanky, kind of pathetic stick. But down the other path, it becomes a dense, bushy, productive powerhouse. And the choice between those two destinies, it all comes down to one single, decisive pinch. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty science of why this actually works. This isn't just some random act of cruelty, you know? It is a very calculated move to overthrow a chemical dictator that is living inside your plant. We're about to stage a full-on palace coup. And it all starts with this idea called apical dominance. See, out in the wild, it's a brutal race to the top. Every plant is genetically hardwired to grow straight up, as fast as it possibly can, to get to the sunlight before its neighbors shade it out. It's a pure survival instinct: grow up or get left in the dark. And the one in charge of this whole upward race is a hormone called auxin. Now, I want you to think of auxin as a tiny chemical dictator. It's produced in the very top bud of the plant, the leader. And as it flows down the stem, it's sending out one crystal clear message to all the little side shoots. And that message is, nope, you don't grow, you stay asleep. All the energy is coming to me at the top. So here's where you come in. When you pinch off that top bud, you are, for all intents and purposes, assassinating the dictator. The source of that bossy auxin hormone is gone. And just like that, the suppressive signal vanishes. All of a sudden, those little side buds that were being told to stay asleep, they wake up. It's like the mythical Hydra. You cut off one head, and two more grow back to take its place. And what's really wild is that this effect is exponential. You pinch one tip, and it becomes two branches. A few weeks later, you pinch those two tips, they become 4. Then you pinch those 4, they become 8. 8 becomes 16. Just by making a few simple cuts early in the plant's life, you can literally program it to be up to 16 times bushier than it would have been on its own. It's just amazing math. Okay, so now you're totally sold on the why, right? Let's get down to the how. And the best part? You can put away your fancy tools. Your own 2 fingers are all you need to perform this little bit of garden surgery. It really is as simple as 1, 2, 3. First, you've got to wait. Let the plant get established, maybe about 6 inches tall with a few good sets of leaves. Second, you locate your target. Find that top little cluster of leaves, then look just below it to the next set down. Right there, that's the spot. And third, you just bring your thumbnail and your index finger together and make a clean, sharp pinch. Snap. It's that easy. Now listen up, because this part is absolutely critical. Whatever you do, do not leave a long dead-end stub above the leaves you're leaving behind. That little piece of stem has nowhere to grow, so it's just going to turn brown, get mushy, and rot. And that becomes an open doorway for pests and diseases to get right into your plant. So always, always make your cut clean and close to that next set of leaves. All right, let's talk about 2 of the absolute star patients for this technique, Basil and Coleus. For one, it is all about getting more food and better flavor. And for the other, it's about creating pure architectural beauty. This table really breaks it down perfectly. You look at basil, we pinch that stuff constantly to maximize our pesto supply, right? But also to stop it from bolting. That's when it tries to make flowers, and when it does, the leaves get bitter and lose their flavor. Now for Coleus, we're not eating it.
We're pinching it to force it to become a dense, colorful, beautiful shape and to prevent it from getting that ugly, leggy palm tree look.
Hey, remember that little piece you pinched off, the part that caused you all that psychological distress a few minutes ago? Well, whatever you do, do not throw it away. That isn't waste, that's a brand new, totally free plant that's just waiting to happen. This, my friends, is the best part.
No, seriously, it is this easy. You take that little cutting, you pull off the leaves from the bottom inch or so of the stem, and you stick it in a glass of water on a sunny windowsill. In about a week, maybe even less, you're going to see little white roots start to pop out. A week after that, you can plant it in soil. That one $3 basil plant you bought at the grocery store, you can turn it into an entire garden's worth of basil for free. It is the infinite plant glitch. Okay, now hold on. Before you run outside with grabby hands ready to pinch everything in sight, we need to have a serious talk. This amazing technique is not for every plant. And if you apply it to the wrong type of plant, it can be useless or, even worse, you could kill it. So let's be really clear on the exceptions to the rule. So here's the do not pinch list. First, things like corn, grasses, or palm trees. They grow from a single central point, and if you cut it, that's it. Game over. Also, don't pinch the center of rosette plants like lettuce or spinach. You'll kill the whole thing. And you've got to be really careful with what are called determinate plants. Think of many types of bush tomatoes or those giant single-stem sunflowers. They are genetically programmed to produce one specific harvest at the top. If you pinch that off, you are literally pinching away your future tomatoes or your one big flower.
You know, when you really think about it, this whole idea gets to the very heart of what gardening is. It's not just about sitting back and letting nature do its thing, it's a partnership. Pinching isn't an act of violence, it's an act of guidance. You're making one tiny sacrifice today to help your plant achieve a massive, beautiful reward later on. So there you have it. The secret is yours now. You understand the science, you know the technique, and you know the incredible payoff that's waiting for you. The only question left is, which plant out in your garden is going to be the first lucky one you help guide to its full, bushy potential?